Kia ora, ko Chae Simpson tōku ingoa, no rongo mai wahine ahau. There were really a lot of considerations in terms of how this program could be formulated so that A, it didn't duplicate services that existed and actually addressed a gap, and also B, met the needs of the families on the whānau that we were trying to help. Because what we also knew was that, based on evidence that came from the American Diabetes Prevention Program, is that we needed to provide a structured program that was at least 8 to 12 weeks. So that was the bones of what we had to do. So the woman I talked to, she had a son in his 30s who's very overweight, very unhealthy. She suspected that he was diabetic, if not all pre-diabetic, although it hadn't been diagnosed. But he worked as a truck driver, so he had a very sedentary job. He had no way to get there in the middle of the day. He had a partner who was also working, so she had no way of getting there in the day, and they had 6 children. Yeah, so they had 6 children. They had a very limited budget and very limited time to be able to do good things for their family, to change the certain behavioural things. So I thought, okay, this is interesting. This is a very different set of people. Is this the kind of people that are missing out on services when we're looking? Because these aren't the type, if you've got 6 kids, you can't go to the gym at night, you can't focus on yourself, because you don't have that luxury, and you are not free to go to things during the daytime. So when we looked around, we found that there were more and more family groups that were kind of in this whole predicament where they couldn't attend programs, after hours programs, because they wouldn't take their children to them. They had a lot of children, they had very limited budgets, and they just weren't free in the daytime to be able to attend those types of programs because they work. So that became our primary focus. So we were like, okay, so the programs that exist, cool, you're covering that, but you're covering that, but what we also know from the He Piki Ngā framework is that from a systems approach, you have to have multiple solutions to try and fix a problem. Let's not make it about an individual's journey to health. We'll make it about the whole family's journey to health, and we'll make it as flexible and as welcoming and as applicable for families as we possibly can. So that became, the core of our design theory, or how we went about designing this type of intervention. So from there, we knew we had the bits and pieces, so we tried to think from the perspective of a family, because I'm a mum too, so it's putting myself into the shoes of those families and thinking, well, what's going to make it appealing for me to drag my children out at night time? And it has to be more, it's not just a babysitting service for my kids. If I'm bringing them along, I want to make sure that they're learning something too. It's like, in the first instance, the first real draft that I started taking out to families, and they were just casual conversations, it wasn't anything official, it was going out to families, people who looked like this, who were the kind of people I wanted to talk to, and running this draft program past them, and they're like, how would you feel about this? Would this work for you? Is this something you want to do? And the responses we're getting is like, yeah, oh, but you're like, 2 hours is too long, change that. I don't want to take the kids out for 2 hours in the night, knowing that we were starting in winter and it got dark really quick, and they were like, look, that's not going to happen. And they were like, okay. And then originally the day that we had was not going to work for a lot of people because of sports, people taking the kids to sports, so we had to pick Monday, which is generally a really quiet day for most families. And things like food, making sure that we could take some of the work out for parents. So I drafted in there that we would make dinner for everyone, because then you don't have to worry about taking your kids home and cooking for them, because they're already fed. It's basically showers and bed if you're getting them home early. And then as takeaway dinners that were already prepackaged, and we just discussed it and handed out recipes that they get at the end of the session, because then we don't have to worry about cleaning up and holding people back longer than they actually want to be, because the worst thing we could do is make it too much work, because then no one comes back. But one of the benefits we were thinking of in the beginning is that there was some research that came out of the States that said a family intervention is a good way to educate families about child obesity, because you're not focusing things on the children. You're focusing on the whole family learning, which is a lot less threatening or intimidating for a child who is obese. So that was another plus reason for us to be family focused, because hey, it's like, if we can talk to the whole family is doing this, then it's not about any one person, it's about doing it together as a whānau for everyone's health. And also the intergenerational aspect, because we were looking at, if you have your grandparents or your parents who are obese and are having health issues, potential health issues, then it's likely that that way of thinking and that way of living filters down to your children, because who's doing the grocery shopping and who's setting the example. So when we were thinking of, when we were modelling it that way, that's the reason that we thought, yes, the best way for us to be looking at it is from a whole family and not be pointing a spotlight at any one person. So we had about, after the first program that we did with the community, we had a second program with Te Kohau staff as well, and we have about, I think it's about 10 staff at Te Kohau who are working with our exercise physiologists, so that we're really walking and talking it at the same time in quite a, so we're doing it as well as teaching it to our clients, and it's happening more and more. So every week we get more and more interest in how we work and what we're doing and our approaches, purely from people who are doing it, seeing results in them and seeing results in their families.